Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide. Today we're going to be checking out a device that I've been looking forward to for quite a while, and that is the... So a couple of weeks ago I got in contact with Quirklogic and we had a little meeting, we talked a little bit about stuff, and they were awesome enough to actually send me a unit to test out, check out, and yeah, basically get my hands on it, because I'm not sure on the status of how easy and how possible it is at the moment to buy the unit unless you're in North America. But I'm most definitely interested in testing it out because it seems to have a very unique environment and that it's geared towards collaborative type of work, which is kind of what I'm looking for. I also want to give a big shout out to Morning Coach because he's doing some really cool videos. Basically his work and his coverage and shining the spotlight onto this company and the device itself, Quirklogic Papyr, is something that really got my interest and took it overboard, because I was interested in Papyr. It's like, ooh, what it is, and the website sounds interesting, everything sounds interesting, but I couldn't find any proper hands-on kind of testing of the device. And then he started doing all sorts of videos on it and basically reporting a very real-world type of experience of learning how to use device, how to live with it, and what to use it for. So yeah, a big thank you to him for covering the device, to bringing it to all of our attentions. And yeah, just go there and check out his content. I think that we cover similar type of content, but in a very different type of way. So if you combine both two channels together, you get a fairly complete picture of these devices that might interest you. He's a really cool guy, so go head over to his channel, check out his content, subscribe, and give him some love and support, because his work most definitely deserves it. Alright, so now let the unboxing commence. Here it is, the Quirklogic Papyr, or paper as people say, but this says Papyr, so I'll just call it Papyr. And it comes in a uber duper super awesome minimalistic package. It's just a cardboard with Papyr TM on it. Just Quirklogic on the back. I actually really like this. I think it's quite refreshing. From what I've watched on Morning Coach's videos, it is a good introduction into the minimalistic approach that the Papyr and Quirklogic have as far as what the Papyr should be. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, and I've been anxiously awaiting, so let's open it up. Yes, we can. And now let's open up. It's upside down. Okay, I'm just gonna turn it around and make another take. Basically, you just double take so that it's correctly oriented. Wow, that's light. All right, let's do this again. So let's open it, and this time OCD correct version. Okay, I would have had nightmares if I didn't do this. Sorry, guys. Anyway, here is the device. This thing is thin and light. This is really interesting. All right. So we have the device, then what else do we get? We get a USB, micro USB cable. I think these are 3 replacement nibs or additional nibs, and the tool for extracting and replacing the nibs on the stylus. And the stylus itself. Now, I've never used Sony before, so I am not familiar with the technology, but as far as I understood from JB's videos, this is a powered pen, but it also has some advanced functions because of that. However, what I can say is that it's made out of metal, and the quality is, first impression quality, really, really good. So I can't wait to actually start working on this, and it gives me a little bit of a Wacom-y type of feel because my fingers are used to this layout from years of working on Wacom tablets. But this is the pen. No secrets underneath. So the package contains the tablet itself, the pen, micro USB cable, which seems to be quite lengthy, which is cool, and 3 replacement nibs and a tool for replacing the nibs. No documentation or anything like that, so that's the contents of the package. Now let's unwrap this and see how the device is and how it feels. So I'm just going to slide this out. The surface is totally flush. It's a plastic surface on top, so not glass. And from the looks of it here, let's check this out if the camera can pick it up. But from the looks of it here, I think this is pretty much the closest screen surface that I've seen ever. It's very difficult to see any kind of shade which is normally present there, so that's a very promising sign. The device feels very, very light. I don't know what the specifications are, but it's super light and feels very comfortable. There's a curved profile on the back which makes it very, very comfortable. And the plastic is scratchy and raspy, but it feels like a good quality plastic. That same plastic is basically like a bucket style, so it extends to the sides all the way, and then the screen and the bezel are basically inside of this bucket cover of the back. Overall, it feels very nice in the hand, and to me this looks very, very straight. So for a thin device like this, and made out of plastic, this is quite a good and welcome thing to see, especially on a 13.3-inch design. So far, so good. Wow, I can't really get over the fact how thin this is. I need to check the specifications because it feels really, really good. So the front panel, as I said, it's a flush surface, black bezel, and it looks like it's equal width on top and bottom. So basically like totally proportional design. I guess you can just switch it around any way you like. I guess these are capacitive home button and an NFC here. Then on top we have the micro USB and the power button, and I assume this is, yeah, reset. So this is for hardware reset with a pin or a pen. On the sides we have these slots on both of the sides, both left and right. And by using deduction, I assume that this, yes, goes in there, and it's using the magnetic forces. So you can put it either to the left or to the right side. That's a freaking cool thing. It's not too strong. It could fall off. It doesn't feel too strong, but it is there and it is staying still. Now, if I started moving this all the way around, well, it's pretty good. Left, right, down. Nope, it's not falling. It doesn't give the most stable impression, but it's actually deceptively stable. It's super easy to take off, and I guess that's what's throwing me off as an impression, but once it's there, it's sticking. It's not falling out. So that's kind of cool. Okay, I could like shake this for a long, long time, but it's not falling off. On the bottom of the right side we have these holes, and I guess this is for the security strap thingy, maybe to link it to something. I'll read info later to know what this exactly is. And nothing on the bottom. Overall, a super minimalistic design, and quite a nice surprise how this thingy works. For me, I think it works nice and feels good. I went ahead and created the Inkworks login account. So now when I power it up, because I expect that this device will ask me to power up. And wow, that was a fast power up. That was actually really surprising. Alright, so yeah, that first impression of the screen being super close to the surface definitely stays. I'll get on with everything in a minute, but this is really impressive because this is almost the first time that I've seen a screen pretty much right there. The closest one I know is Remarkable, but even Remarkable 1 and 2, they have a tiny bit of an offset. This seems, first impression at least, even closer. I mean, look at this. It seems like it's definitely right on the screen, right underneath here. That's pretty sweet. So the display looks nice and crisp. Let's see. Do we swipe or do we tap? We tap. Refreshing is normal, nothing exceptionally fast, but nothing terribly slow. Feels normal so far. There we go. So workbook is ready. Write with the pen. Erase by circling or striking through pen strokes while pressing the erase button. So the button is erase. Be sure your pen is charged. You charge the pen by gently pulling this off, and here's the charger. Select ink by dragging one finger over or around the desired strokes. Move, rotate and resize selected ink using 2 fingers. So I guess you select it and then you can scale it, move it and rotate it. Okay, so we have scale and rotate. Tap away from any ink to deselect. Okay, swipe up from this corner to turn the page. Okay, long press to see a context menu. This menu changes if you have ink selected. From this menu you can undo, redo, copy, paste, change line widths and colors, set the background image, add shapes and more. Pretty sweet. With no ink selected, pan and zoom the entire page using 2 fingers. Double tap with 2 fingers to reset the page view. Cool. Next, quite responsive so far. Press the home button to access your workbook library. Access the main menu by tapping this one. You now know enough to explore your Papyr device. Access the main menu and then select New. Let's just put the pen in here. And then select New to get started in your own workbook. Bring up a page viewer by tapping on the page number below. In the viewer, tap on a page to navigate it or long press on a page to remove it. Okay, so I guess I can go home. So far, it's looking like a really interesting type of environment. This is totally new to me, so I'm just checking stuff out. I really like this. And you tap out, yeah. So this is starting to feel like a very its own type of environment, and there's definitely quite a few specific things here. So it's going to take time for me to get into this. And by the way, while it takes time for me to get into this, it's a good opportunity to go to Morning Coach's channel and check out his videos, because he's done a lot of covering on the Papyr. Definitely lots of useful info there. Plus he does really cool videos, totally different style than my own, totally laid back, spontaneous and very, very real, kind of real nitty-gritty type of stuff. So something that I like. Check it out and support him. He's pretty cool and supports this channel as well, which is also doubly awesome. In the menus, in the application menus, I can see that we have actions, we have cloud library, workbooks, recent, active, shared, and then we have local library. That's cool to have it totally separate. I like this. So you are able to actually differentiate between what you want to sync and what you want to keep local. Kind of cool. And we have applications. All right, we are hooked up, and while I was typing in the password and everything, the responsiveness and the keyboard itself really precise and responsive. And I think that has to do, of course, with the Sony type of screen, but also with that minimal distance from the surface, because then the touch recognition is way more precise, because the touch input doesn't diffuse. So total storage 11.58 gigabytes. The screen size is the 1200 by 1650. All right, so let's go back here and see if I can sign into the Inkworks account. All right, so I am now signed in. So that definitely works. My library is totally empty. And let's see, what kind of settings do we have here? Battery, content settings, lots of different things. I love how this is laid out. Very different and very refreshing for me, at least. It seems like almost like an industrial-like design. Now let's finally write. Oh, the surface is very papery-like. That's kind of cool. So let's do a first test write and see if the pen works. Yes, it does. Let's see, the eraser works. All right, I really didn't expect that the surface is so different compared to other devices. And as is now becoming a tradition, let's record the sound of writing on papier. Very nice indeed. Alright, I gotta say I did not know what to expect, and so far the device is really surprising me. This is kinda, so double tap with 2 fingers, I guess here, yeah, and then it resets. And then you have selecting, then you can do something to select or tap out. One thing that I really do like is that it has this post-processing after writing, so it actually applies a filter after the stroke has been written and then smooths it out. Everything will be shown in the in-depth review. These are just the first impressions. I'm not gonna do anything more on this because it's really inviting me to do stuff on it, but first impressions are definitely surprising, positive, and really interesting. This feels like a device that's fulfilling a purpose, and that's exactly what I was hoping it would be, because from what I understand, the whole idea behind Quirklogic is their brain, which is the Inkworks, and then your account with the Inkworks actually is the central hub or the brain, and then you have the collaboration on mobile, on a tablet, on Android, iOS, or on PC, or on Mac, on a computer, etc., and also on the tablet itself. So for me, it's more the Inkworks and Quirklogic ecosystem that is tremendously interesting, and my personal view, the first impression is that I'm looking at the Papyr as the latest edition that kind of completes that whole story. Maybe I'm mistaken, we'll see, but that's just the first impression, and I think it's something that could fit my needs pretty much perfectly. So far, very positive first impressions. I love how it looks, I love how thin it is, I love how light it is. I really like the new type of user experience. I love the fact that you can put the pen both left or right side. The pen feels really good, the writing feels really good. The writing speed, I don't think it's super fast. It feels pretty much like Max 3, but we'll see. So it's not slow, but it's not amongst the faster ones. That's most definitely not the case. It feels very normal and very immediate, basically not distracting at all. I love the fact that it's not a glass display, and I really love the fact that the screen is so close to the surface that it feels like you're writing on the screen itself directly. Very cool. Very few devices have that, actually. Plenty of really positive first impressions indeed. I'm really looking forward to actually checking it out now more in depth, so that's going to be an interesting one definitely to do. Okay, so recently I've been reviewing the devices that I know what to kind of expect. There's like definitely a background to them, but this is the first time that Quirklogic are doing a device like this. It's super early version of software, it's the first version of the hardware and everything else, so I didn't know what to expect. I knew what to kind of look forward to from JB's videos, but it's a very different story when you actually hold it in hand and when you actually start using it and writing on it, because it just genuinely feels like a different type of experience. So my own personal first impressions with the size and the weight and the thinness and the sound of writing and the kind of overall user experience, the first impressions are actually surprisingly positive. But the biggest take for me is that closeness of the surface. It's really something. It really feels like you're writing directly on the screen, and that's something that I've been missing from the devices, well, excluding Remarkable, but I think Remarkable is also really close there, if not the same, but I'm gonna have to kind of check that out and compare, because I don't remember Remarkable striking me that much, but maybe it's because this is a larger format, not sure. It's just my first impression, so I'm sharing it with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you've liked the video, please like and subscribe and ding the notification bell so that you get notified when the new videos come out on mydeepguide. Also, if you do like the work that I do on mydeepguide, consider becoming an official Patreon of mydeepguide on the Patreon site, because then not only will you help the platform grow further and me being able to bring you better content and more devices, but you will also get an exclusive access to behind the scenes type of videos where I cover stuff as it happens in a more vloggy type of style. So if that's something that interests you, then check it out. For all of the existing patrons, I am very grateful, and thank you so much for your support. It really helps a ton. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!